What's up, guys? What's going on? You are rocking with Frank Daniels. Today I am talking about my experience with alcohol and why I don't drink at all anymore, but still manage to party like a rock star. Before I go into that stuff, guys, if you could head down below and subscribe to this channel, we can use the followers because I believe the information I'm dropping here is going to be of super value to many people out there. And I also have to start with the politically correct stuff and say that my individual viewpoints on alcohol consumption may not be yours. What I do may not work for you. All I'm really trying to do today is potentially open up the windows of possibilities for people out there who might be struggling with some of the things that I've struggled with in my day. A couple months back, I decided that I'm not going to drink alcohol any longer. And I can't say I thought about this for a long time. It wasn't something that I felt like I was forced into, or that was on my mind for a long time, or even believed that I would actually even do. It's just something that kind of came about as I progressed through my life. So substance abuse is something that almost literally defined my life from the start. So if you don't know my story, my father got sick with MS. My mother kind of took off. When we lived in New York, she took off and took my brother and I to California and got us involved in a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But she had a lot of substance abuse issues and ended up losing us out there. My father was too sick, but I'm pretty sure previous to that happening, he was involved with drugs one way, shape, or another. So if I'm talking about alcohol, I'm going to lump that together with just substance abuse in general because they kind of come from the same place. So I've struggled with many things besides just alcohol, but they're all kind of stem from the same particular place. And again, it's something that defined my life early. And after our mother kind of took off and she went into rehab and lost us and went into foster homes. Eventually we came back to New York to live with my grandparents, and we lived our life here. So growing up as a teenager, I was like a good kid. I had a lot of good things going on. I was very good in school, and I was a great athlete, and I was on point, and I was very okay with the things that had occurred in my life, although it was a lot of crazy stuff. I was mentally in a good spot. I was a good kid, right? And then suddenly, as I started to get involved with substance abuse, so it started with like weed, and next thing I know, it snowballed into the next thing and snowballed into the next thing. The funny part about it is, as it was happening, as it was going down, as I was slowly trying to, starting to slip down this bad slope, I knew it was something I shouldn't have been doing, and I knew it was something that was going to take me way far off. And, it just kind of went downhill. I was still able to be somewhat good at school, and I was still a great athlete, but behind all that, it was slowly deteriorating. So that's just a little insight on how things got started. And after high school, I really went off the deep end with all the combination of these substances, alcohol being one of them. And after that, I was eventually able to kind of whittle down all the substance abuse and pull myself out of the depression, the funk that I was in, the non-productive place I was in, and kind of get to where I'm at today over the course of a long time. But it really took me into a very bad place, a very dark place, and I'm fortunate to be able to kick all those substances. But the interesting thing is, as I kind of continued, alcohol stayed in. And why is that? Because alcohol is such a social norm that it didn't even make sense to get rid of that, right? I can kick all that other stuff, but alcohol, that's what we all do, right? We all drink, so it doesn't even make sense to get rid of that. It's not even something that crossed my mind. A couple examples, when we were teenagers, I remember when we first started drinking, and going crazy and stuff, I remember being outside in a parking lot and literally jumping from the hood of a car to the next hood of the car to the next hood on top of these cars. And I'm today I think to myself, dude, if I came out and I saw some kid jumping on my car, I would strangle this kid. And that's the type of crazy stuff that we did. If I could say all the nights that blackout drunk and who did I offend? Waking up the next morning, who do I offend? Who do I have to apologize to for my crazy actions? days or evenings that I get behind the wheel and drive drunk. I was just talking to my friend yesterday. She's like, I don't know how you made it home from my wedding that night. And I'm like, shit, I don't know how I made it home either, man. Like that was crazy. And I can laugh at it because luckily I'm safe and no one else got hurt. But it's just an example of some stuff that you do, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And one of the big turning points, and when I knew I had to like really watch what I was doing, is when I got tasered in the town that I live by the police one crazy evening, and I woke up the next day and I had a felony conviction for assaulting a police officer. Don't have time to go into that today. Maybe I'll tell you that story if you comment down below another time. But it's stuff like that makes you go like, is this lifestyle really for me? So sometime last year, I decided that I was gonna stop drinking for a little while. And I was gonna do about, just a couple weeks. And I was actually headed to Vegas in a couple weeks. So I'm like, let me try not to drink, because I was checking out a lot of these YouTube people, man. They're pretty smart. You learn a lot on YouTube. But these guys that I looked up to, these fitness professionals that I looked up to, a lot of them were talking about not drinking. So I tried it out for a little while, and I actually started to feel pretty good not doing it. And then I was headed to Vegas, and I got to Vegas. I thought I would continue, and I ended up drinking. I had a great time. Don't get me wrong. It was last May, and then I ended up drinking like the whole summertime. And the biggest thing I noticed, one of the biggest reasons why I don't drink anymore, is because it became difficult for me to recover from, like emotionally. So, say for example, someone like us, right, that do what we do, and you go out all weekend and you drink drinks. So I found myself getting to like Monday afternoon after I was done doing all my heavy drinking, and having this like bad anxiety, like this terrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I knew it was from the alcohol, just from being just completely wasted. Now, I wasn't doing like crazy shit like I used to do. I kind of like dumbed that down over the years, so I wouldn't act as crazy. But you could still do stupid shit, and you could still get really drunk, right? And I'm able to drink a lot of alcohol. I'm a big dude, so I'm able to do that. And I would just notice that emotionally, like I would just wake up on a Monday when I'm trying to get my week started and really get after it, that I would just feel this bad feeling in the pit of my stomach, this bad anxiety, and I knew it was from alcohol. And that's kind of the thing that started pushing me forward. Like, I don't think this is something that I could really do anymore. So I thought long and hard about it, and that was it. Last September, I decided I wasn't gonna drink anymore. And when I say I'm not gonna drink anymore, I don't do any like big heavy drinking, because every once in a while I do, I do have a drink here and there. I might have a shot. Okay, I might drink a glass of wine if I'm sitting down to dinner or something like that. But for the most part, I don't drink anymore. Yet I still hang out and socialize, and you find me out in the bar, you find me out in the club, and I haven't been drinking now for, more than 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months now. And I'm pretty sure it's never gonna be something that's gonna be a huge part of my life again. To say that I may never have drinks here and there would be incorrect, but the volume and the way that I might drink is gonna be a lot different than what it's been in the past, for some of the reasons that I've told you. But for the most part, I go out, I hang out, I'm in the club late, I'm dancing, I'm socializing, I'm having a good time, and I'm not drinking alcohol. And this is a crazy thing to people, because it's such a social norm to use alcohol to be able to socialize, specifically in the nighttime, right? So when you're out at dinner, you're out at bars, you're out at a club, something of that nature, or you're just in an event where people use alcohol. It's so normal for people to be able to do that they would never think that you can hang out in these social environments and not drink alcohol at all. And that's kind of what, to a degree, I specialize in. It's kind of the understanding that when you're first stop drinking alcohol and you step out into this environment, you're gonna feel awkward, okay? And the reason that you're gonna feel out of place, and just awkward, right? Like, you're just like, man, I can't like be out here without alcohol, like, you crazy? The reason that you feel that is because you're conditioned to be in that environment drunk. You're conditioned to use alcohol to be able to be social. And that, in itself was another reason why I wanted to stop drinking alcohol, because I don't want to lean on alcohol to be some person that maybe I'm not, right? I want to be able to be the way I am regardless if I have a drink or if I don't, right? The only way that you would ever get through what we've conditioned ourselves in society to believe is that we can't be social without alcohol, is to actually put yourself in that environment. And as with most things, it's going to take a little while for you to get used to or get comfortable with. But once you get comfortable with it, it's really nothing at all. So again, was in the city in New York City Saturday night, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't think I stopped once to go, oh, this is weird, I'm not drunk. Like, it's just a normal thing to me at this particular point. I don't miss the alcohol because I've now replaced this idea that I need to get drunk to socialize with people to this concept that, it's about people. It's about having a good time. So when you're socializing, it's about the people in front of you. That's what it's about. It's not about the drink in front of you. If you want to go out and dance, well, it's about, dancing and doing your thing, right? It's about having a good time. It's not, you don't need the alcohol to be able to do that. If you're out trying to meet people or meet your significant other or your next ex-wife, once again, you want to meet them in a clear mindset, okay? With focused thoughts and being exactly who you are at all times, or do you want to pretend to be somebody else that you're not? Or do you want to meet someone who's pretending to be somebody else that they're not? Not because they're necessarily trying to do that, but because the drug itself is forcing them to act in a way they wouldn't act normally. So some of the benefits that I've experienced since not drinking alcohol, we'll just start with the fitness stuff. Like, it's just way easier to stay lean if you're not drinking alcohol. If you're not adding in those couple hundred to potentially, a couple thousand calories per week. I mean, how often do you drink and how many drinks do you have? Those calories that you're consuming, one could be the difference between, you losing fat and getting lean, okay, or not. And then you're replacing calories that you could be eating, a lot of calories that you could be eating that go towards valuable nutrients that help you, be in better shape and, be fit. That's what it's all about. In addition to that, it's the stuff that you eat outside of that. So you're adding more calories. So a lot of people, they don't even put these things together. They don't understand how they can't lose weight, okay, or get in better shape without addressing that these things are happening. It's hard enough to do that without alcohol. Like, it's a challenge for me to lose body fat and be lean without alcohol. If you add alcohol into the equation, just makes it that much tougher, so that makes it better. When you stop drinking, your hormone production improves, okay? And one of the other things that improves is your sleep. So even though you're drunk and you might feel like you're going right out, alcohol messes with your sleep. So it messes your sleep up, messes your hormone production up, and you definitely want to keep those things going. Your skin clears up. So if you're concerned about aging and having bad skin, when you drink alcohol, it dries out your skin. Okay, when you don't drink alcohol, it improves your skin, right? So that's a big benefit. Spending money. Like, I might go out on a Saturday night, and depending on what I do, I might literally spend $0, okay, in New York City, okay, out in bars, out in a club, and spend $0. If I just drink tap water, I might spend nothing, right? So I don't spend a lot of money when I'm out, which you might find to be a big benefit, right? And then probably the biggest thing is, the anxiety is cleared up. I don't feel any of that. I don't feel that on Monday mornings. I have clarity when I wake up. Even if I'm out late, I have clarity when I wake up on a Sunday of what I need to do. I'm not groggy and hungover all day, so I can get work done. I can be productive. All good benefits. In addition to, there's no one to apologize to. There's no crazy things going on. Like, for example, a couple weeks ago, some guy, I was in a club and I was having a conversation with a group of girls, and the conversation was going well for a while, and I turned and this dude was like right in my face, which is rare, right? And he was messing with me, and I had no idea who he was, and and he must have, he seemed like a guy like me, and he was like a guy like him. You know, he thought he was a tough guy, and he must look at me. He's like, okay, this guy thinks he's a tough guy. And sometimes dudes, they want to they see a guy and they want to know like what's going on with that guy, and that's what he was doing. But the old me would not have taken lightly to somebody being right here. Like I probably would have reacted to it immediately, and it could have been a problem. But because I was sober, I was able to kind of step back and see what was going on. Turned out to have a nice conversation. He was a little bit of a pain in my ass. I had to get rid of him. You know, eventually I had to get rid of him. But the old me would have reacted probably a lot worse. So there's no bad decisions. There's no drunk driving. There's no hangover days. There's no bad emotional issues. And it's a lot better. You know, person. It's bottom line. You know, you're out. You're in these social environments. You're being yourself. You are who you are normally. You're not being the drunk person. All right. So you're just going to be a much better person to your friends, to the people who might be your potential friends, to the people who see around. Your social skills improve that much better because you learn how to do that stuff without the crutch of the alcohol. So I wanted to tell my story and give you my side of things in terms of what I think about alcohol, what I think we actually use it for. And to be quite honest with you, the benefits of not drinking far outweigh the benefits of drinking. And the only real benefit I can think of to actually having alcohol is that it helps you get into a state which you're going to be much better at getting into that state normally without the alcohol in the first place. So I'm not telling anyone who enjoys alcohol to stop drinking. I'm a party person at heart, so I was going to quit drinking alcohol. I wasn't going to stop like doing my thing, right? I'm still doing my thing. I'm still out there dancing, talking to people, hanging with friends that drink alcohol. If they decide to do that, I ain't mad at them. I ain't mad at you. If that's your thing and it doesn't influence your life in a bad way, then by all means keep doing it. But if you feel like you're experiencing some of the things that I might have experienced, and especially having the background that I had, some of the things that I experienced early as a kid, to mix those things was just a explosive thing for me. And it's something I decided at this particular point in my life, I can no longer be the productive person or the best person that I really want to be with that stuff in there. So that's my story, guys. For you guys that feel like you're struggling with that, I hope this video helped you out. If it really did, head down below, of course, like and leave a comment. Tell me if it did help you out, and of course, subscribe to this channel so you can get these videos sent directly to you on a regular basis. Guys, I appreciate your time today. Peace.